The City of Jasper's website and logo now have a new look, what the council unveiled at last night's meeting, plus a proposed shelter house project in Ferdinand has drawn a lot of scrutiny recently. More on the issues surrounding that, and Huntingburg Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Nick Stevens is tonight's guest on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. In your news, the City of Jasper logo and website have been given a facelift. Last night, the Jasper City Council officially unveiled the city's new website and logo. The new website replaces the city's 10-year-old former website. Jasper Mayor Terry Seitz says the new website has been a long process. He also thanked several people in the city government offices for leading the way with the changes.
Well, the new website is something that we felt was a long time in coming, just in the fact that it took several months for us to get here. We knew that it was not going to be simple. So those of us who have worked on that, and certainly give the Community Development and Planning Department, Darla Blasey, who probably would never call herself a techie, but has really taken this and embraced it and engaged other city staff members to help out on it. They led the way and presented, I think, as a very good website. It's at the same jasperindiana.gov website that it's always been. It's just a new site.
The new website will feature more pictures and will be much more user-friendly, according to Seitz. Seitz says the goal of the new site is to make things comfortable for the people who visit the site, as well as the City of Jasper.
We want to focus on people coming to call Jasper home, to visit here, doing business here, and yes, city government as well. We have a lot of active links. We're connecting, of course, with visitor centers and other places too, and that's a key for us because we want to basically make sure that people are very comfortable, and when they visit the City of Jasper site, they can pretty well link off of there and go elsewhere, but always come back to us and make it a home page for them.
Some of the other features on the new website will include, but not be limited to, a community calendar / city meeting schedule, City of Jasper news postings, a document center which will have an archive and be capable of uploading PDF files, a citizens action center for folks to express their concerns, online access to permits and forms, mobile capable functionality, and interactive mapping. City officials say the site will continue to undergo upgrades even as it is live online. Other possibilities for the future include an agenda builder for meetings and an online payment system. For more information or for questions, you can contact Darla Blasey at dblasey@ci.jasper.in.us. To view the new website, you can go to jasperindiana.gov. As mentioned a moment ago, a new city logo was also unveiled to the council and to those in attendance at last night's meeting. Seitz says city officials are very proud of the new logo. He says the rollout of the new logo will also include city vehicles.
We're going to set some standards, look at some timelines, some budgets, and see what where we can maybe assimilate some cost. But we want to get most cars and vehicles in the city labeled what they are, that they are city vehicles, and we're very proud of that. And it's okay to be seen driving them. We know you're doing that. Let's go ahead and make sure that when you're pulling around or you're in a neighborhood, they know it's a Jasper City vehicles. Those are things we want to do with our new Jasper logo, and we're very proud of that.
Seitz says he led the efforts to make the new logo and says the new logo will be rolled out and integrated across city departments over a period of time. The town of Ferdinand is looking at the possibility of a new outdoor facility in one of its town parks, and many folks aren't too sure about its location. Last night, the Ferdinand Town Council and the Ferdinand Park Board held a joint public hearing concerning the possibility of building an outdoor shelter house type facility for events such as concerts. The proposal dates all the way back to 2008 when it was first brought up by the Park Board. At the outset of the meeting, the council stated that nothing has been designed as of yet, saying that they wanted to gather input first before proceeding with that step. More than 40 people from the public turned up at last night's meeting to give their input on the issue. The main proposal to date has the new facility located on the northwest corner of Ferdinand's 18th Street Park, and that was something that the majority of those in attendance last night were opposed to due to the potential for noise in a residential area. A few musicians, including students currently in the Forest Park High School Marching Band, showed up and voiced their support, with one band member telling those in attendance that the noise level would be no different from what it is when the band practices on weeknights during the fall, which no one to date has complained about. All in all, Ferdinand Park Board President Scott Treader was impressed with how last night's meeting turned out. He says he was most impressed with the fact that people of all ages showed up for the meeting.
Well, I think the biggest thing is I like to see the youth coming out and showing their support or opposition and just having an opinion about it. You know, that's the one thing I really enjoyed about it. And just the people, the general people, coming to a meeting, being able to sit there and have discussion without talking with emotion, and getting value out of it and working in a forward direction.
Treader says now that the concerns of the public have been heard, he says there are still several things to be ironed out before any building project would be started.
I think now what we need to do is figure out what what the building would look like if it gets built, what that would cost, and in different locations proposed that were discussed tonight to figure out there's going to be different costs where it's being built. So I think it's number one, figuring out what the thing's going to look like, and put together different costs with that and where it could be located, and toss it out there and just kind of see what opinions we get out of the people at this point.
Though there was disagreement over the location of the facility, the vast majority of those in attendance at last night's meeting were not against having a shelter house built. Treader says such a shelter house has a lot of benefits for the town over the long term.
I personally think what it's going to do is going to provide opportunity. That's my role on the park board, and just being able to provide, whether it's used for company functions, whether it's used for local bands, small concerts, a shelter house, place to eat. We have Wi-Fi in the park. It could be just used for a sit-down area. Similar use as a shelter house, but much more of a purpose than just a shelter house.
Another concern that was voiced during last night's meeting was who would be paying the cost of such a building. The council and the park board assured those in attendance that no decisions had been made on financing, though the town has been looking at grants for the project. The town council is currently looking at 2008 cost estimates, which penned the cost of the project between $100,000 and $130,000, which the council stated could be paid through grants. The council also stated that they have already received several calls from people that are interested in making private donations for such a facility. Former Ferdinand Town Manager Mark Stedzik, who was also in attendance last night, stated that he believed that the shelter house could be built without using a single dollar of public tax money, thus averting a tax raise, which a couple of people in attendance last night expressed their concerns about. On a final note, the council stated that the proposed shelter house would be a 20-foot by 40-foot type structure and not anything like Lincoln Amphitheater in Spencer County. Treader stated that 2014 would be the perfect storm for the facility if it is going to be built, and if it takes longer than that to get it started, it may not be worth building. Yesterday marked the release of I-STEP scores across the state of Indiana, and multiple area schools surpassed the state's target pass rate. Statewide, scores were on the increase all across the board, according to preliminary data released yesterday by the Indiana Department of Education. Nearly 80% of students across the state passed the English section of the exam, up from a flat 79% last year, and 83% of all students all across the state passed the math section of the test, which is up from 81% from a year ago. In all, 73% of students all across the state passed both sections of the I-STEP exam. Locally, numbers were also up across the board. Data for Cedar Crest Intermediate School and Celestine, Chrisney, Ferdinand, Lincoln Trail, Otwell, Pine Ridge, Holy Family, and Precious Blood Elementary Schools shows that more than 90% of their students passed both the English and math sections of the exam. All students at Celestine and Pine Ridge Elementaries who took the exam passed the English section of it, and all Otwell Elementary students passed the math section of the I-STEP exam. In all, 8 area schools showed improvements in their scores from last year, with Heritage Hills Middle School and Pine Ridge Elementary having the largest of the increases at 6%. The results come a little bit later than normal this year, following glitches with the state's computerized test system, which is run through CTV McGraw-Hill, that interrupted the test for roughly 80,000 3rd through 8th graders across the state who took the test, according to a study that was commissioned by the state. About 1,400 of the results could be thrown out to prevent the tainting of the overall test scores, which was suggested by Richard Hill, the man who conducted the review of scores, and is the co-founder of the National Center for the Improvement of Education Assessment, based in New Hampshire. More specific category scores, such as those for special needs students, will be released sometime within the next few days, and science scores are expected out sometime next month. And finally this evening, a series of seminars is coming to the Vincennes University Jasper campus this weekend for those that are interested in starting up their own business. The seminars are set to begin on Saturday from 8:30 a.m. till 10:30 a.m. at the C-TIM building on the Vincennes University Jasper campus. The seminars will run on the third Saturday of each month through March at VUJC, and there will be no class in December. The cost is $10 per session. The upcoming schedule for the seminars is as follows. On Saturday, the topic is Forming Your Idea. October's topic, which will be held on October 19th, is Financial Services, and November's topic, which will be held on Saturday, November 16th, is Intellectual Property. The series is being sponsored by VUJC, the City of Jasper, the Jasper Chamber of Commerce, Du Bois Strong, and the Indiana Small Business Development Center. For more information or to register, you may call the Jasper Chamber of Commerce at 482-6866 or email them at chamber@jasperin.org. Coming up after the break, a rainy Friday is in store. More on that in your local forecast. Sports with Kurt Goofsell, and Inform with Huntingburg Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Nick Stevens. That's all up next here on 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.